Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And what it's doing now is loading in commands into RAM. Now,
Chuck, what strength Mac are you recommending? Is this universal? Will it work on the Intel Macs? What are we looking for? Does it have to be a G5 that runs at umpteen million megahertz a minute?
right, our system requirements are a G4 or better. It is universal binary, so run on either PPC or an Intel Mac. The faster Mac you've got, the better it's going to work. And we'll talk about that a little bit later too, about how the system affects accuracy. The one thing that I'm going to say right now about that is speech recognition is the heart, no matter where it's from, no matter whose computer you use, if you use a PC, if you use a Mac, if you use Windows, if you use Mac OS, if you're using ViaVoice, if you're using iListen, if you're using Dragon, it doesn't matter. It's the hardest thing, most complex thing. Most of us, 99.9% of us, will ever ask our computers to do. There are more variables to getting it right and getting it accurate. You know, if you sit down and you're just going to start typing into Word, it's basically a keyboard and the software in your computer. That's it. If you're going to start dictating into a program, it's how well trained is your voice profile? Is the microphone in the right place? What's the noise level in the room? Is it connected properly? There's all sorts of variables that affect speech recognition that you don't have to worry about if you're just typing. But once you get them all set, it's a beautiful thing. I'm going to start right now by doing a little bit of the same demo I do in my Apple stores, because the first question we always get, if you were to go over and pick up iListen off the shelf and go to one of these guys in the black shirts, you're going to go up there and say, does this really work?
Fair question.
You are. That's exactly what you're going to ask. Does this really work? Now think about that. You're not going to ask that about Quicken. You're not going to ask that about Office. Well, maybe, you know. So at any rate, virtually any other software you pick up off the shelf, you're not going to say, does this really work? And of course, the reason I go around and do these presentations is because I want the Apple Store people to be able to see it and say, they can say, yeah, we had a guy in here and he was using it, and yeah, it really does work, rather than, well, I guess so, we're selling it, which is the typical answer, right?
Yes.
So let's go there first, all right? One-shot command. Open text edit. This is an example of dictation directly into text edit, period, new paragraph. As you can see, comma, iListen keeps up with me nearly as fast as I can speak, period. I do not expect this to be 100% accurate, comma, because this is not a fully trained profile, period. In fact, comma, you saw that I only spent 5 minutes setting this profile up, period. So if it's not 100% accurate, comma, we know why, exclamation point. Scratch that. All right, now why did it do that? Question mark. Well, when I say scratch that, it's going to scratch the last utterance that I said. And so it wiped out everything because I didn't pause at all. Right? Notice also that I didn't look at the screen. So probably the number 2 reason for poor accuracy. Number 1 is microphone position. We'll go through that later. Number 2 reason for poor accuracy is watching the screen when you talk. Because when you watch the screen, you tend to dictate like this. New paragraph. I am now dictating into text edit to see how well iListen works. Period. Over time, it's not going to get even that accurate. The accuracy is going to degrade because the cadence you're using is very, very unnatural. It expects you to speak in full sentences. It wants you to speak in complete phrases. It's not word recognition. That's another key thing. Word recognition is when we used to talk like this, and the words would appear, right? That's how we would talk. Not anymore. You just talk to it the way you talk to somebody else, with one small difference, and that is that you add your punctuation, and you need to talk the way you write. It's not conversational speech, it's dictation. So if you're a lawyer or a doctor and you're used to dictating into a little recording device for your secretary, you got it made. The rest of us have to learn how to dictate in order to get it to work right.